All right, let's go ahead and play this solo version of Flock Together. So this is going to play exactly the same, except that I'm only one player, so everything is set at one player. And if anything says to, like, for your partner or your basically your people you're playing with, the other player, then I can affect myself instead. So with that being said, this is, as I said, playing like normal, so I'll include a link to the how to play up here in the corner, so you can go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, hopefully you'll pick it up as I am going along. So I am playing as Wyatt Chirp. I start with 3 health up there, and I start with a food according to this hard tech. It is 5 meals till I level up. These are the actions I am going to be able to take. I am playing with the starter versions, or the starter cards, the starter predators, and the starter final predator that they suggest for the first game to give you an idea of how they work. And given this adjusting difficulty, I'm not going with 1 because I'm not starting with a random loop drop, but I think I'm going to go with difficulty track 2, which is no +3 on the multiplier of the health boss meter, and I do have positive weather on the top of each deck. All right, so to begin the game, we are going to first do our production. Our production is a food, so we simply grab a food, and now I can do 2 actions. So these 3 actions down here can only be done inside, which is where I currently am at, is in the coop. These last 2 right here can only be done outside, and these 3 can be done wherever. So I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get myself leveled up before I go and start smacking people and so forth. So I think I'm going to, oh, I forgot to do the one part of setup, which is draw the first card. And this is if you forage at least once on your turn, gain a bonus food. So I am going to want to go out there. I'm probably going to forage and really build up my food and then see where we go from there. So for my first action, we are simply going to move outside. And then we are going to forage. So because of the special one there is if you forage at least 1 on your turn, gain a bonus food. So we simply have the food there now. So that is it for that day. So we now are going to discard one of the grubs. I'm going to discard this wasp swarm. It takes a lot of damage to do. It's going to hit me with 1. Not a fan of that. So we go into the next round. And this is going to be the end of this weather. We are going to be drawing a weather in the next one. So we are going to start off by doing our production. Then we are going to forage once. So that is going to give us 2 food. And then I think we are going to start eating. So you're going to pay to increase your meal counter. So the first time you do it, you're simply going to grab one of these and place it up there in your meal counter. So that is my 2 actions. We now have to discard a grub. So you may tag along when a teammate moves, permanent upgrade. Not really going to affect me, so we'll get rid of them. So we now move here. So if I had any eggs, I'd exchange them for food. I don't have any eggs yet. I'm going to draw another weather card. Freezing. Immediately enter the coop. You cannot leave the coop. You may eat inside during this phase. So I get put into there. So basically, it's not going to be able to go outside now until round 6. So that should give me plenty enough where I can go ahead and bulk up. So coming to my turn, first is we do a food production, like so. And then I think we are just going to eat twice to increase this up to 3. Then we have to discard a grub. I think we're going to go ahead and discard the lizard to see if there's something better I can fight inside. This is a roly-poly. When attacking, roll 4 to 6. Predator attack is -1, a permanent upgrade. So I'm probably going to maybe finish bulking up the level up. Should have enough food. I'm going to try and smack him in round 5. So we're into round 4. Over here, food production. Done. We are going to eat twice, which gets us up to 5 food, or 5 meals. If you look here, that means I get upgraded. So we flip this over. My health now becomes 4, like so. I now have payback is when you miss a production roll, gain a free meal. And so now when I do production, I'm going to roll a die. On a 3 to 6, I collect an egg. So that was my 2. Coming out here, we discard a grub. Like I said, I want that roly-poly because that's going to be helpful with the predators. So we are into round 5. So we come over here. So now production, as I said, we need to roll a die. And a 3 to 6, we get an egg. It is a 6, so we get us an egg. And now we have our 2 actions. So I think first is we are going to attack. So we have 2 fists. So when we attack, we pay a food per fist. So again, there's 2. So we pay our 2. We are going to attack this roly-poly. It has a 2 health. We are going to roll a die and hope that we don't get a 1. We did not. We got a 6. So this roly-poly comes over here into my area. And now this is a permanent upgrade. So when attacking, I roll that and my predator's attack is -1 if I get a 4 through 6. So that was my first action, was attacking. And now we have this 4-leaf clover. For 1 turn, you may perform all actions outside if I grab this one. Or I think what I'm going to do, because we're about to do an egg exchange and I need eggs now to get food because I'm not producing it, is because I have now gotten bigger, I can go ahead and lay an egg. So that will be my second action, is to lay an egg. We now discard a grub. We're going to discard the dung beetle. So there we go. Moving into 6, so we can do the egg exchange. An egg exchange is we turn in our eggs for food. So I get 2 more food. We now draw another weather card. We now have bird flu. Anyone who ends the day near another player loses 1 health. I'm going to guess that I don't have any other players, so I'm not going to lose health, so I'm going to ignore that. So we are in round 6, so now I can move out and I can start attacking these predators. So predator heals 1. Salmonella, you may not eat until the next egg exchange. So that's coming up. Or Professor Multiarty, attacker skips free food production until next egg exchange. I think I'm actually going to come up here, move up here, and I am going to spend 2 food to do a 2 attack, 2 Esmeralda. So the order of combat effects usually goes weather effect. There is none. Then predator effect. So we would roll to see if they heal. They do not. And then chicken abilities. I'm going to say my grub ability is part of my chicken ability. So I'll now roll for that. I got a 5. So on a 4 through 6, it's -1. So I actually do not take any reciprocal damage from Esmeralda. And Esmeralda is defeated because I did 2 damage. And now when you defeat one of these, you get loot. So loot is now an egg stash. Place 3 eggs on this card. You may take or distribute to nearby players as desired. Stash is immune to predator and weather effects. So we are simply going to put this right here and throw 3 eggs on it, which will be helpful when I need to do food. And I just realized at the beginning of my turn, I forgot to do my production. So let's go ahead and do, that is a 6. So I did produce an egg. I'm going to start rolling on the regular board. This is too convoluted. All right, so that was a reback to my production. I did a move. I did an attack. So now we have to discard a grub. We're going to discard the lucky cricket. Final round. So we are going to do the production. I said I was going to roll that out here. 4. I did succeed in my production, so I go ahead and I get myself my egg. So now I think I'm going to attempt to go and maybe attack Professor Multiarty. Attacker skips food production until next egg exchange. Well, the egg exchange is about to happen, so that's fine. So we are going to move here. We are going to spend our 2 food, 1 and 2, to do the 2 attack to Professor Multiarty. He doesn't have an ability, so we're going to roll for my roly-poly. We got a 6, so I take no damage. And now we have defeated Professor Multiarty. Gas mask. All predators' attack is -1 for an entire day. It can be used at any time on a nearby predator, which means I need to be by them. So I'm going to stick this under my egg stash for now, because I think I'm probably going to wait and use that at the final boss, because that final boss is going to hit for a lot. So that was my 2, was moving and attacking. So we are at the end of the season. So what happens is salmonella increases their level. They go up to a level 4. Now when I attack them, they're doing 2 damage. And I roll on a 3 to 4. I may not eat until the next egg exchange. 5 to 6, I may not heal until the next egg exchange. We come around. Speaking of the egg exchange, we turn our 2 eggs in for our 2 food. Oh, I forgot to use my extra action token. I could have used that to foraged. Oh well, I'll have to remember that, because that would replenish now. I forgot to discard a grub. Let's go ahead and discard the ladybug. We do a new weather card, so spring is going away. So now we go to summer. Once during this phase, you may perform 1 extra action. So this phase is rounds 1 and 2. I can perform an extra action. So we start by doing our production of an egg. I did not produce, so because of my payback, I actually increased my meals instead. So speaking of that, I think my first action is I'm going to eat. And now that I'm bigger, I can actually spend both food to go up 2. So I'm now at 8. I am then going to move back into the coop for my second one. And for my extra one, because of Sunny, I am actually going to lay an egg. And you know what? I think I'm going to bring my eggs over from my egg reserve as well, so I can really boost up on my next egg exchange. So the egg stash loot is discarded. Now I can go ahead and discard a grub. I kind of think I might want to. The 4-leaf clover doesn't have any damage I need to do it. And for 1 turn, you may perform all actions outside. Well, the only actions really is lay an egg that I'd be really concerned about, or possibly heal. Now we're going to discard the 4-leaf clover. So now we have a scorpion. For 1 attack, you may ignore all predator roll effects. That's actually pretty nice. So we move to the next one. So let's go ahead and roll for our egg production. We failed again, but that's fine, because that gives us a meal. So right now we are 2 away, or 1 away from leveling up and getting thick feathers, which is all predators return attacks are -1. So I could really be not taking much here. All right, so I'm about to get food from my egg exchange here. But it might not be a bad idea to try and get food some other way. Although by not having food, I can't attack him. You know what? I think we're going to actually do something we haven't done yet. I'm going to draw a bonus card. So this is +1 egg, or discard an additional bonus card for +3 eggs. So I'll keep that in mind for later on. And then I think my next action is I'm going to move outside. Actually, no, I'm going to wait inside. And there. And you know what? Let's go ahead and lay another egg for my last action. Discard a grub. We're going to discard the lunar moth, because I think I'm going to attack the scorpion and then come out here and hit salmonella. So we move. So egg exchange. We have 5 eggs, so we get 5 food. We then are going to roll for our production. 5, so we do produce an egg. We are going to, for our first action, use 1 food to go ahead and attack the scorpion. I do not lose a health. The scorpion comes over here. And now for 1 attack, I may ignore all predator roll effects. I really don't like the effects of salmonella, so that's kind of why I did that. That was my first one, was attacking. My second one will be moving out here. We now discard a grub. Let's go ahead and discard the firefly. Oh, I never drew my next card. Nighttime. Once during this phase, you must perform 1 less action. Alrighty, so I didn't do it there, so the next 2 I might have to do that. Beginning of our turn, we roll for production. So optimally, we'd get less than a 3. Nope, we've got an egg. First action is we are going to eat. So we're going to eat this. That is going to move up our meals to 10. which now increases this, gives us a 5, and we now take 1 less damage from the attackers. And then let's go ahead and attack for 3. 1, 2, and 3, because now I have 3 fists. So this is my second action, is attacking for 3. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and let her roll. That's a 4, so I may not eat until the next egg exchange. So now I am taking 1 less already, and now let's roll to see if my roly-poly goes into effect. He does, so I take no damage. She is down to 1. That's the end of that phase. Let's go ahead and we're going to discard the mosquitoes. So now in this instance, I need to take only 1 action, or I can flip my bonus token to take that bonus action, which I'm going to do. So that gives me 2 actions. So I am going to forage for 1, and then I'm going to use that 1 to attack for 1 on Salmonella, which will take her out. She is going to roll. Nothing happens. I am going to roll for my roly-poly. My roly-poly does not happen. So because it's -1, I do take 1 damage got through. But now I have Salmonella's loot drop, which is a food stash. So I'm going to place 3 food on there. And basically like the egg one, I can then grab that to my supply. And so because she has been defeated, we now are going to reveal the big main boss. So it's Gravekeeper Fowl. He is going to go to his full side. So normally he would be at 7 health, because you do the 4, increase it by 3, by number of players is 7. We are not doing that increase. So he is going to be at 4. So that was when I did my 1 less one, and then I used my extra token, so I foraged and attacked. So now we have to discard a grub. We're going to get rid of the ant pile, I think. So now we do our egg exchange. So we only got 2 eggs. So that is going to be 2 food right there. We are going to draw a new weather card. The new one is Drought. Foraging requires 2 actions. So I might not be foraging. I might be just laying eggs and getting ready for the fall to go beat up on the Gravekeeper Fowl. I do want to come in and hit this caterpillar. So for my first action 1, we are going to spend 2 food to attack. If it's a 1, it's a miss attack. It is not. So we do have this one, which is also now a permanent one, which I forgot to do my production anyways. So before that -1, so I failed my production, but this does move. Not like it really matters now. So there was all that. We need to discard 1. Let's go ahead and discard the dragonfly. So this final one, I think I am just going to lay, or production. I always forget production. I don't know why I always forget production. So it is -1. So I need a 2 through 6. I succeeded, which gives me an egg. And then I think for our 2 actions, we're just going to lay 2 eggs. So there is no one to level up at the end of here. So we come around here and we draw our first fall card. So Snow, if you participate in the next egg exchange, get a bonus 3 food. In the last phase, you may make exchanges during any turn. So that's going to be this next one right here. So we are doing that egg exchange, because technically egg exchange happens before the weather. So we have 3 and 3 food. So now we are going to flip over our extra action token. So first we see if I produce an egg. I do produce an egg. And then we are going to, I think, move all of our food over. And then for our first action, we are in the coop. So I think we are going to spend 1 to heal. Mainly because Gravekeeper Fowl does 4. And my thick feathers will make it, he only does 3. I'm going to use the gas mask on him, which does lower it to 2. But I am going to have to attack him 2 times. So I just want to make sure that I can knock it all out at once. So basically I need to have 6 food going into there, and I currently have 5. So my first one was heal. Then we're going to go ahead and move out here. And then we are sure going to go ahead and throw the gas mask on him while we're out there. So that's my 2. We discard a grub. Doesn't really matter because I believe we're going to just be smacking him here in a moment. Coming to here, we do our production roll. We did get it because of our minus. And then 4, so I do have the 4 total. So we will start by attacking him for 3, which will bring him down to 1. He does 4 back to me. My thick skin stops 1. That stops 1. We're at 2. We're going to roll for my roly-poly. My roly-poly does not happen, so I do take 2 damage. And this was why I wanted to double check and make sure that I was good, because when I attack him the next time, I want to make sure that I'm going to be safe. So speaking of which, we are going to go ahead and attack him, but we are going to use our scorpion. For 1 attack, you may ignore all predator roll effects. And I am doing that because if you look at his roll effect is when defeated, roll, and on 5 or 6, he would have come back to life with 3. So I spend that to defeat him. Let's roll for my roly-poly. Roly-poly did not heal me or protect me, so I did get 2 damage. So I still have 1, so I'm still alive. Just out of curiosity, he would not have come back anyways. So there you go. That was a solo play of Flock Together. Hope you enjoy that. If you'll head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell, all of that would be much appreciated. In addition to that, we have a link to Miniature Market down below, where if you go ahead and hit up that link and then buy video games, we get a portion of those proceeds back here to the channel to help fund what we are doing here. Alrighty, so until next time, I was successful in protecting the coop in this co-op game.